thank you on behalf of Virginia gun owners because we have two more pro-gun, pro-hunting bills that have been signed into law by Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe.
Yes, he has once again seen the light and done the right thing.
Now, it helps that at least one of these bills passed unanimously in both chambers of the legislature.
That's correct, yes.
That's not one you really want to veto. So this would allow a circuit court clerk, House Bill 357, would allow a circuit court clerk to disclose information contained in a concealed handgun permit application to the applicant. Not now. We've seen these issues with media types going and getting information of concealed carry holders. We've had papers in the state of Virginia over the past few years actually build a database of concealed carry holders, and so the legislature went back a few years ago and changed how this information can be accessed. Is this another tweak?
Yeah, it's actually, I think it was one of those unintended consequences. Originally, when this issue surfaced back in 2007, I believe it was the Attorney General at the time released an opinion that said that information was only to be used for law enforcement purposes. And then, we were able to get legislation passed that actually closed the use of that to anyone other than law enforcement, because the media was using a loophole that they could still go to individual clerks of courts offices and get the information and still publish it if they wanted to. So last year we were able to close that loophole and get the information blocked to anybody other than just law enforcement. But by doing so, it also, I had some unintended consequences. Like if I went and for some reason I needed to have the information and went to the clerk's office, I might be able to do it in Chesterfield and they might give it to me, but you might go to Henrico, which is notorious for having issues with when it comes to concealed carry permits, and they might not have given it back to the applicant. So this bill just clarified that, look, if it's the applicant's information, the applicant can get it.
Okay. Now, the other piece of legislation is the Senate Sunday hunting bill, the companion measure to the House bill, which was signed back on March the 5th. Same legislation in essence, Dave?
Absolutely. It was a companion bill, and it went through the legislature a little bit slower than what the House bill did. So this is just a pro forma signing of the Senate bill, too. So it was already going to become law, whether you signed this one or not.
Okay. Now, look, it has to be noted that when Governor Terry McAuliffe won election in Virginia, the gun control advocates said this was huge, right? This meant something. This meant that Virginia supported gun control, and this was going to be a new day for the Commonwealth. Dave, it has to be said, we've talked about some of the anti-gun moves that Terry McAuliffe has done, but this was not an anti-gun legislative session in the state of Virginia.
No, it was not. And in fact, they can try to spin it any way they want to. And in fact, there's some group called Virginians for Responsible Gun Laws. It's Lori Haas, who is one of the mothers of one of the Virginia Tech victims, is the one who is out front with that group all the time. Sent out an email earlier this week talking about the legislative session. And when you look at the list of bills, you don't really see any real accomplishments for them, because they didn't get any restrictions on private sales of firearms. They didn't get any further restrictions on background checks at gun shows. Everything that they would have really wanted on their wish list got killed. The one bill that they're out there crowing about, which is a so-called Brandon's Law, which has to do with the young child that was struck in the head by someone who discharged a firearm up in the air on July 4th of last year. The bullet came down, struck the kid, died the next day. That bill was completely changed from what was originally put in or introduced in the General Assembly into a bill that was a malicious wounding bill. So we didn't oppose the bill after it was amended. NRA didn't oppose the bill after it was amended. And they're out there crowing about it, but in essence, it was completely changed and made sense the way it went through the legislature. So they had nothing, no accomplishments, just as they haven't had any accomplishments in Virginia since 1993 when they passed one gun a month. And we all know what happened to that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that law is no longer on the books, right?
That's correct.
Well, listen, Dave, I appreciate you coming on the program, sir. It's great catching up with you, and we will see you in a few weeks in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. You have a great weekend, Cam.
All right, you too, sir. Dave Adams from the Virginia Shooting Sports Association.